All right, well, here we are getting ready to go into week 2. You know, it's funny, you have all this time waiting for the first game, and then before you know it, that game's come and gone. You're on to the second week. So excited for the opportunity. You know, got Liberty coming in. Got a great history with these guys recently. I mean, we've played 3, tough football games with them. Came on the winning end one time, and it seems like we've played them all in a short amount of time. So excited to have them coming in here. All 3 trips we've gone up there to Lynchburg, so it's going to be good to have them here on a Saturday night, ESPN 2. So we're excited about it. Obviously, there's a big room for improvement. But the biggest gain you make is going from week 1 to week 2, so we're excited about that. And, we got back to work last night. We practiced 5:30 last night, so the guys are great. They're in good spirits and got back after. Today's their off day, and we're in there chewing up the film room and getting ready for this next opportunity.
Question?
I guess this is a question for all of you guys. I mean, Coach, like you mentioned, Liberty has been a big opponent for you guys, especially within this past year. Playing a game like this in week 2, is there some benefits, knowing your team's going to come out and play that much harder, or do you kind of wish this was later in the season?
Football's an interesting game. For the most part, with the exception of Pete, we're healthy right now, and they are too. So it's nice to have, again, all your guys ready to go and lathered up. The wear and tear of a long season isn't on them yet. So in that aspect, it's nice. Having, the one thing that, we took into account, but you don't realize it until you watch film. We had so many guys with their first Division I star. If you look at our 2D, we had so many guys that this is the first time they got meaningful snaps. Good players, guys like Session, starting for the first time. So it is nice later in the year because you've got that experience under your belt. But there's good give and take. So whenever you're on the schedule, just get ready to go.
How about for you guys? What are your kind of outlooks, if any, about playing this game?
I'm actually excited because they always talked about how big of a game this was. Well, that was one of the games they talked about when I first got here. So I was just excited. I was like, I'm ready to go. It's go time. So I'm just ready.
Fun fact about me: I've been playing this coaching staff since my freshman year, and I've lost to them each time. So this is definitely one of those games where it's like, okay, it's a lot building up to it. We've been talking about it since I got here. That Liberty is the team to beat this year, being that we lost to them in the championship, and now it's time to get it back.
For all 3 of you, this is Liberty's going to be one of the toughest teams that you guys play the entire season, and you guys get them really early. Is it kind of maybe good to get these games maybe out of the way early? And is this game maybe, do you guys see it as kind of like a measuring stick game or a litmus test to where you guys are in the rest of the conference?
Yeah, I think when you just look at college football and you look at the scores over the weekend, some of them you scratch your head. Our game's one of them, right? But at the end of the day, the goal is to win, right? College football is hard, and it is hard to win. So I don't know if it really matters when you get these guys. The next week's going to be a new challenge, and then the next week's going to be a new challenge. And if you let your guard down one time, you're going to get knocked out. So it's one of those deals where, whether at the beginning or the end of the schedule, you literally just got to live in that 1 week. And once the game starts, you got to live in those 6 seconds. So if we do that, I think we'll be fine. I think going into this game last year, we gave up over 700 yards to their offense, which was unbelievable. Gave up way too many points. We got to play better on defense. There's no doubt about that. And then offensively, we can find a way to create a little bit more balance. We definitely want to run the ball. It's who we are, right? But we got to evolve our passing game, do a better job there. If we do that, I think we have a great opportunity. And whether it's early or late, I'm excited about it.
For the players, do you feel like this game kind of is like a litmus to where you guys stack up in the rest of the Conference USA?
I feel like it could be because of course Liberty is Liberty at the end of the day, but a lot of people don't know who we are yet. So I feel like this is a game for us to come out and show who we are going to be this season and give us a test.
Mike?
Yeah, I definitely think the same thing. You look at Liberty, you see they played Oregon in the New Year's Six Bowl. Yeah, they lost, but that was the only loss they had this season. So, we beat them. We basically show our conference that we're the top dogs.
Coach, obviously Seth McGowan played a huge role on the offensive end for you guys on Saturday. What can you kind of just speak on what you really hope to see on him with him, especially come Saturday? Obviously, a big game, repeat of Conference USA Championship. So, what do you really hope to see from Seth?
Yeah, so, the thing that excites me the most, and I kind of alluded to it a little bit before the game, is really excited about watching this offensive backfield. We've got some really talented guys, and, Seth had a hot hand, he was really explosive. I think he had 11 carries Mike had 18 carries, Amante had 5 plus a 3 kick return. So when you have 3 different guys that are explosive, bring different, tools to the table, it's nice to have that. So, again, we want him to have another explosive football game. We got to give him some space. Mike, he was really close to breaking a couple. Want to see that. We probably need to get Amante a couple more touches. I think if we can create a rhythm running the football, give the quarterback some easy throws, we have to make some plays down the football field. We were a little, go back and you watch a film and then probably should have taken a couple more shots early on in the game. So I think if we can do that, it's going to open up some big holes for the backs. And, again, you saw how electric he was on Saturday. Anytime he gets the ball and you give him a little bit of space, he's got a chance to go. So the great thing is if you focus on him and you're trying to take him away, then you got to deal with Mike, and if you're going to do that, then you got to deal with Amante. And we've got other guys too, Lorenzo McMillan. We've got some guys that are really good ball players back there. So it's a deep loaded backfield and I'm excited about that. But, they're going to have their work cut out for them. Liberty's defense is phenomenal. They do a really good job. Play a lot of man coverage. So we got to get them to kind of restructure the box a little bit and give us a good opportunity.
So with Liberty, obviously big game, right? So they have a lot of their star players returning this season, a good chunk of them. Any major adjustments for Saturday?
Yeah, obviously, with the new defensive coordinator here, structurally we're different. We gave up way too many explosive plays with them in the championship game, and it was frustrating because, you're sitting there and, we had over 500 yards offense. We put a bunch of points on the board and we couldn't get off the field on defense. So that's obviously going to be the biggest thing. Now, how do you do that with Salter back there? The biggest thing with him is he's so elusive. When things break down, he does a great job extending plays with his feet. Probably one of the more talented kids in the country. So we've got to do a good job of getting him off his mark, right? We can't let him throw the ball to his first read. We're going to have to do a good job of taking care of their running game. Again, we did a good job of it last week. We got to continue to do it. It'll be a little bit more challenging. Where they did lose guys was on the offensive line. They lost a tackle to a transfer portal. I believe the center to a transfer portal. So they've got a couple new guys there. They lost their big wide receiver to LSU. So they lost a couple guys. I think we all did. So again, it's for us. With the amount of transfers we've had, we're a new team, you know what I'm saying? So nothing that's happened in the past can hurt us, right? So again, we just got to focus on our jobs, do a great job with it. Again, just offensively create some more balance. We've got to be able to throw the ball to beat these guys. If they're going to play cover zero and load the box, if we don't throw the ball down the field, you're not going to have a great chance. But that's going to be week in and week out. So I'm excited to see the improvement and just get after these guys.
I kind of want to piggyback off of what you asked about Seth and just we kind of talked about that earlier and how you brought him in. I just wanted to talk about just the conversation you had with Seth, bringing him in from Bola, because obviously he came in with a little bit of baggage and things like that. So just tell me how that happened, how you were able to bring Seth in, and what.
Well, I think it's a philosophy thing. In this day and age with the portal, you got to ask yourself what type of football team do you want to have, right? And I enjoy what I do for a living, and I want to win as bad as anybody, but I want to enjoy my job, and I want to enjoy the guys that I work with, and to me it's meaningful. So much of what we do is about here and now. But what's more important is what happens 10 years from now, 30 years from now, things like that. So when we go out and we look at guys like Seth, we have to have a conversation. Who are you? Tell me about your past. What have you been through? How have you overcome it? How are you a better person? Tell me about who you are, your core values, and I think through that conversation, Coach Cobb, Coach Wright, myself, we felt very comfortable that, he was a young man who made some bad decisions and overcame them, and he committed himself, academically, socially, spiritually, to just being a better person, and you see it every day, he's a great teammate. On the sidelines the other night, these guys are carrying the ball. He's right there. He's fired up. He's jumping up and down. He's fired up for the defense. He's a true team guy. And it's nice to see because our entire team's been like that. And that's been really refreshing in this kind of transient day and age to see a group of guys that really care about each other, starting to love each other. It's a big deal. And, again, with Seth, I'm really proud of him for where he's at, and what he's doing right now.
How do you feel like he's improved personally since he's got here?
Well, I just think anytime, you're a young person and you get to be around other good people, you get to be around good men who can show you a true good value system, show you how to show up, work hard, be on time, be committed to a team, be more about the greater good than just yourself, I think that helps people. I know it helped me when I was young, and we talk about it as a staff, making sure we're presenting that example to our guys, and I think just him being in this environment, you see a lot of joy in him, right? When you have something that you love and it gets taken away from you, and then you get a chance to experience it again, I think you have a whole other appreciation for it, right? Kind of like I do in this job right now.
Right. Mike, and I wanted to ask you about him, just because you're around him a lot with you guys as running backs. Just what's he been like as a teammate, and now what's it been like playing with him?
I'm not gonna lie. At first, it was super hard to get to know him. You know, he's real closed off type of dude, and I couldn't tell if it was okay. It was gonna be one of the running back rooms was gonna be super competitive. And it's just gonna be like that, or not. But you know, as I slowly started to work out with him, slowly starting to do sprints with him, just be around him more, he was able to open up, and now we're like super tight. You know, he comes to me about a bunch of stuff. I come to him about a bunch of stuff. Even when we're on the field and at the game 2 nights ago, he asked me about how his runs look, and I'm doing the same thing. So we've been able to build a super close and tight relationship.
Yeah. How do you feel like you and the running backs have made like a sort of an impact on the offense, obviously, because you guys did a lot more impact in the rushing game than you guys did in the passing game. So how much of this Saturday's offense do you feel like is on you guys and on you and Seth and Monty and all the other guys this Saturday?
Well, we all know, and this has been with a lot of conferences. With Liberty, they're the leading rushing yards in their in this Conference USA, last year, and they won the championship. So we know that we have to establish our own game too to also win. We also know, with a good backfield, with good guys who can run, they're gonna load the box. So we established the run game. It's gonna come with them loading the box also. So we also have to establish the passing game also. So we know it's gonna be some type of balance that we're gonna have.
And for Tony as well, just I don't know how much you got to watch Parker's tape since Saturday and things like that. Since that time, have you got a chance to maybe reevaluate the quarterback position, or is he still the guy for Saturday?
He's the guy right now for Saturday for sure. When I go back and evaluate it, and did he make any mistakes? Absolutely. But the thing that's hard for him is you're trying to get in a rhythm, right? And you got Cordell who beats a guy on a post, and there's a hole. He gets held, right? We get the PI, but if he doesn't grab him, right, we're probably going to score a touchdown. He throws a nice ball there, right? We get the vertical route, same thing. He throws a nice ball to the fade, and one of our receivers drops the ball right in the corner of the end zone. And those are the little things you need to have that to start gaining confidence and get momentum. So again, it's one of those deals where we got to keep coaching, we got to keep teaching. He's 19 years old. It's his first Division I football game. Hopefully those kind of nerves and then that nervous energy is kind of gone. We got to do a really good job as coaches of setting them up for success. So again, there's no panic, there's no waver, there's no wobble in what we're doing right now. We're just working the problem and really focused on Liberty, and we believe in our guys, and the guy that's performing the best. Again, it's a young group. Even guys like Deuce are really, really young. He's never played before. He threw probably as many passes on Saturday as he has his entire career. And then you still have Mariucci, who's sitting there working behind, just again learning the offense and chewing it up. So at some point you may get a chance to see him. So competitive process, and it'll stay that way.
I have one for Nate, but do you guys have something?
You're good. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I had the floor for a while, I know. So for you, Tony mentioned just that Liberty had a lot of passing offense and a lot of passing yards in the two matchups, and he feels like the passing defense could have been a lot better against the Flames in the last 2 seasons. So what's going to be for you guys to try and stop that passing attack this Saturday?
Well, last year, Coach Moore's coming over here. Last year, he was one of the defenses that stopped Liberty and kept them to under 30 points. So it was actually good to know that he's over here and that he's seen this offense and he knows what they do and what stop them. So I'm not but I'm really confident in his scheme, and I trust him a lot to get the game plan going, and we're gonna see what happens.
Right. Last one I have for all three of you. Liberty's a pretty big favorite this Saturday. So how do you guys approach being such a huge underdog coming into Saturday with being almost 3 touchdown underdogs?
Because to us, it doesn't matter. It's it really doesn't. I've been on both sides of the coin, won games that way, and been favored and lost games that way. Most guys who've been coaching for a long time do. We care less about the odds. At the end of the day, they're going to put a ball out there, and someone's going to kick it off, someone's going to receive it, and we'll find out who's who when the game starts.
Yeah. You guys?
Yeah, Coach Sanchez said it all. We're going to see this weekend. It ain't nothing really to be said. We just go out there and play.
Mike?
You look at, this past weekend, being an underdog doesn't matter. I would just leave it at that.
Coach, you mentioned it a little bit before talking about their quarterback, Salter. He had his best performance last year against you guys, 80% completion rate, threw for over 300 yards. Facing him again is kind of an underside of that, facing a good quarterback. But on the flip side, you can kind of you know what to expect this time, right? So
Yeah.
seeing him last week, what similarities are you expecting, and how do you stop him this time around?
You know, the biggest value with quarterbacks is experience, right? And he's got a ton of it. You know, he's played a lot. He's got a lot of starts. You know, he's been an extremely explosive guy. I believe he was Conference Player of the Year last year. You know, so he's a guy they're gonna lean on. The biggest thing for us is we got to get him to go through his progressions. Last year we gave him way too much time sitting back in the pocket. He was able to hit his first read, you know, numerous times, just wide open throws. And we've got to move him off his mark. We got to make him go through his progressions, and we have to do a better job of trying to make them a little bit more one-dimensional. Yeah, if you're gonna let him sit back there and pick you apart and and then hurt you with his legs, it's gonna be a long night. You know, so. I'm excited about it, though. Again, I like our defense. I like what Coach Morris is doing. I like what they showed the other night. I mean, obviously, this is going to be a bigger challenge. But, I mean, you know, part of it, too, is going to be the way we play offense. I mean, we cannot, you know, we've got to control the ball, control the tempo a little bit. You know, we want to make sure we put some drives together. You don't want to give him too much time on the field.
Obviously, you guys rely pretty heavily on your run game this past Saturday, 210 yards. Compared to its 60 in the air. This past weekend, Liberty only gave up, I believe, just over 130 on the ground. So, you know, them stopping the run game, how does that affect your game plan going into this Saturday?
You know, it's funny because, you know, if you look at the first game we played them last year, you know, we went right down the field running the football. We were able to score, you know, the championship game last year. We were pretty balanced, but again, you know, scored running the ball downhill at them. They do a good job of kind of tightening up. But again, just like Salter's got all this experience, so does our offensive line. And I think we're a more talented backfield than we've had since we've been here the last couple of years. So again, they're not the type of team where you're just going to be able to line up and go 3 yards of cloud of dust and beat them. We're going to have to be balanced. We're going to have to make some plays in the throwing game. But I think if we play some balanced offense, if we're able to throw the ball down the field, we'll give ourselves a great chance to be in the game in the fourth quarter.
How about for you? You know, obviously, team relying heavily on the run game and knowing that they kind of shut that down.
If we're able, like Coach said, we're able to have a balanced offense. You know, throw the ball. You know, it's going to open up the box, and they're just going to have to stop the run after that.
Nick, what's it been like for you personally? Just like because you came here after really not playing that much at Oklahoma State, and now you're here and you've been trusted a lot to be on the field more. So what's it been like for you to be playing a lot and gain the time that you didn't get that much in Stillwater?
It's been like I've been happy, and Coach Sanchez and Coach Fernandez and Coach Morris honestly made it way easier for me. Like they helped build my confidence, and then my teammates as well. Like they just been there for me this whole process, and it's honestly been really fun and really exciting to get a chance again. I'm just blessed, you know, just happy that I can play and show my abilities now.
Nick, for you, I mean, how was it for you? I mean, seeing Tatum, the underclassman, you know, get that, you know, huge play at the end, you know, 18-yard line, 37 seconds left on the clock. Just how was that for you, just seeing him, you know, get that big play?
I was so happy for him. Like we actually made a bet who was going to get the first pick, and I dropped mine. So I mean, for him to come at the end of the game and get his and get the first one, it was just I was excited. I wasn't even thinking about the bet at that point. I was just like, let's go.
Coach, I just have one quick question. So, I mean, with this last game, I think we can all agree it was kind of a late start for you guys. You guys kind of took some time for you guys to really put the pieces together. So, obviously, with this big game against Liberty, what needs to be done for you guys to have a much quicker start from the get-go?
Well, we have to do a good job of creating a plan that's going to allow our quarterbacks to be a little bit more efficient. You know, early on in the game, give them some easy throws. And again, it's what, you know, when you step back out on the field for your second game, you've been through a game. I mean, I look at last year, you know, you look at the last couple of years, and it's like, all right, we had a bunch of offense last year, but we lost. And then the year before, we had a bunch of offense and we lost. Well, at least we're teaching lessons now after winning a game, which is good. Kind of got that monkey off our back as far as, you know, losing your openers and stuff. And so it's great to see all these guys that experience that win, right? Last night, I tell you what, you could just see Parker and the rest of the QBs. They just had a whole sense of like, all right, we're better than this. You know, let's get back to work. They looked great in our pass show last night. They threw the ball really well. They were accurate. They had some swag to them. And it's one of those deals where that's part of our jobs as coaches too. You know, I mean, you work hard with these kids. You know what they're capable of doing because you've seen it. You got video evidence for the last month. So you know they're more than capable. So what's getting in the way of you having success? That's what we got to make sure that we figure out and get those guys feeling good about themselves. And I think you're going to see an entirely different passing attack this week.